The third Monday of January is often referred to as Blue Monday. It's widely believed to be the most depressing day of the year. However, it's important to recognise that this belief is based on a marketing strategy rather than scientific evidence. Blue Monday was originally created as a promotional tool to sell holidays. Now, there are various factors that contribute to a sense of gloominess at this time of year, such as weather, post-holiday financial strain, unmet New Year's resolutions, and returning to work. It is essential to remember Blue Monday is a fabricated concept. Instead, it's crucial to focus on safeguarding our mental well-being at all times of the year. Figures show that the construction industry in the UK is grappling with a significant mental health crisis. This is an important issue that requires attention and support. With an increasing suicide rate amongst young males in the industry and a greater focus on the risks to well-being inherent in the sector, it's never been more important that we tackle this subject. And that's exactly what we'll be doing in this Building Better Wellbeing mini-series. Picture the typical working environment and practices in construction, and it's not hard to see some of the root causes of mental health risks in the sector. Long days and nights, intensive physical work, exposure to the elements, and often working in isolation. All the potential sources are there, and they all combine to make mental health as pressing a concern as physical health for everyone working in construction. So by talking with different charities and organisations, we'll be helping you identify the signs of mental health issues, looking at ways we can safeguard our mental well-being, and ultimately know who we can turn to for help.
My dad was a good man. It's a hard question. What was he like?
He was a beautiful child. He was easy to talk to, very easy to talk to.
He loved football. He loved Chelsea.
I support Chelsea because of my dad.
Yeah, he was just a brilliant lad. I've got to say that, he was brilliant.
Everybody would say that he was so laid back. Like so laid back, he was horizontal.
You know, he had a really good sense of humour. We did have a good laugh.
He worked in the construction for just over 30 years.
He was a great guy to work with, to be honest. He was a hell of a team player. He always had time as well.
He was one of the people that I probably aspired to be. So, no, he was key in my career, as well as being a mate.
And I do aspire to be like my dad.
The project he was working on was going into the sort of the next stage or phase of the construction.
He just changed his whole attitude. He just wasn't sleeping. He was so ill.
I went back to uni and I said, just keep me up to date. And I thought when I come back for Easter, he's going to be back to himself. And Easter came and it was horrendous.
He started to feel that he couldn't manage the workload.
Because he was in sort of our office at the time, and we sort of talked about it, and
Chris opened up to myself and Frank, and we were quite surprised how his demeanour had changed, and some of the things that he was taking on board, how it was affecting him. It wasn't the Chris we knew.
So I don't think he knew what was going on in his head, and I think he just wanted it to stop.
He just wasn't the same man. He wasn't. He was so stressed, so under pressure, so ill, because he would never have done what he did as the old Chris.
You never think this is going to happen because he's still dad and he's going to get through it, but he couldn't. It's okay.
I can't describe how much I loved him.
He's the only person, the only boy, but the only person probably as well, made me cry. And I cried.
You know, you don't expect to lose a child. It shouldn't happen. There's no description in losing a child. It should never happen.
Nobody saw it come in, really.
It was a shock, difficult to sort of like comprehend and to come to terms with, but real shock. Yeah, such a shame, such a waste.
Other families don't have to go through what we're going through. We'd like to save them from going through it so that mental health or stress within the workplace is dealt with.
With Dad, it was the stress that led him to not sleep. He was so worried, so consumed by the fact that he was going to lose his job, and he was never going to. It was the irrational thoughts that were coming.
If it could happen to Chris, that's the bit that doesn't compute with me. If it could happen to Chris, it could happen to anybody else as well.
If people can sort of understand it can happen to anybody.
If they feel that their workload is making them stressed at work and at home, and they're starting to feel that they can't manage it, please do approach someone.
Just to reach out before it gets too late, because obviously my family's experienced it and it's the worst thing anyone could ever experience.
An awareness or an awareness training will help, and it's much better to reach out to someone and find it was nothing you needed to do.
Companies need to be aware of what is happening, and the stress can kill. Does kill.
Because it was all so sudden, if it can happen to him, it can happen to anyone.
And that's without scaring people. I think it's a really important message, and that's why you should really ask for help. You're not a weak person. You're still the same person. Just need a bit of help along the way, you know?
If you've been affected by any of the issues raised or discussed in this episode, we've included in the caption the contact details of organisations who are in a position to help. Remember, none of us are in this alone. The sector is our community.